Oh, there we go. What's up, dudes? This is Vitus Battery back here again with another YouTube video. It's another record showcase time. But yeah, I wanted to do something a little tiny bit different. We're not going to be talking about metal albums. We're going to be talking about the non-metal albums that I have in my collection. I'm still sick, so I'll still have an annoying nasally voice, so I'll try my best not to. What can I really say? I apologize. Today's T-shirt is a three-sided onslaught tour T-shirt. This is the tour that they did with Warlord. Yeah, and I actually got the chance to meet the band after the show. It was amazing. So it was really cool. Um, they played an amazing set. The Force from Hell. So they only played songs from Power from Hell and The Force, and they ended the show with a Motorhead cover, which is really amazing. Anyways, you know the drill. Apologize for the poor visual quality and audio quality, but with that being said, let's dive right in. Starting off, we have one of my favorite non-metal bands of all time, and this being The Misfits. This is Collection 2. So yeah, just various Misfits songs that were recorded throughout the 70s and the 80s, primarily the 80s though, following Collection 1, obviously because, last time I checked, 2 follows 1, I hope. I mean, it's a classic. It's really, it is, if for anyone who has been getting into the Misfits, or who had gotten to the Misfits, most likely they have checked out Collection 1 and Collection 2. I mean, that was my introduction to the Misfits. Like, I listened to Collection 1 when I was 13, and boom. Uh, I heard that Misfits records are really hard to come by, which probably justifies the price of this being $30, which, I mean, $30, $30, so you really gotta think about it, but it was definitely worth it because the Misfits are one of my favorite non-metal bands. They're my favorite punk band, and I like them to the point where I got a tattoo of them on my rib cage right here, and it's actually like this picture. Well, a little not this word for word, but it's the Crimson Ghost from the movie with his hands crossed. It's really cool. If I was confident enough or had the non-decency, I would show you, but it's okay. Favorite song off of this has to be my favorite Misfits song overall, Halloween 2. It's a classic, perfect for Halloween, or just perfect. It's just perfect. The genesis of horror punk and probably a little bit of psychobilly in here as well. I mean, of course, the song's not on here, but American Psycho, that probably led to the whole like psychobilly punk genre. Collection 2, Misfits. Go listen to it. Here's one. Here's one that I found at their my local records. Oh my goodness, excuse me. How am I 20 years old, but I sound like I'm freaking 30 with this cough? This is like $5 from from my local record store, and I tried doing research after I listened to this album. Nobody really said anything. Nobody really has a lot to say about these guys. It's Asylum. What's the name of this record? I only listened to it once. This is Asylum. I think the album is literally just called Asylum. So these guys are a new wave type of band, which ended up being really neat. I love new wave and I love any type of wave. So what that would be like, what cold wave, dark wave, whatever wave you want. I'll listen to it, and it was surprisingly pretty good. This album, I was a gamble. It was like $5. They look interesting, look obscure. I'll freaking buy it. And Nick Baloney, that's pretty cool. Favorite song off of this probably has to be "Mistakes in My Heart." I know it's like one of the top songs from the album, but I've only just discovered these guys, so I have a lot to learn. And from the research I was able to do, they only have this album. And I think this is an original 1985 pressing. So if you're looking for some good new wave, that's not what Devo or Talking Heads or Blondie. Not saying those bands are bad, they're really good, but if you just want something different, you should definitely check out Asylum. Kind of weird, but really catchy. Asylum, also go check it out. Yeah, I've been getting into new wave a lot. Oh, here we go. This is probably, well, definitely another one of my favorite non-metal artists because he's a legend and, well, I think this just explains for itself. This is Let's Dance by David Bowie. Completely new direction when it comes to David Bowie. From his weird experimental rock in the 70s. This is 1983, so he went completely like this is kind of new wavy, pop rocky. Obviously, you got classics like China Girl or obviously Let's Dance. I think China Girl has to be my favorite off this record. I know it's one of the singles, I know it's one of his top songs, but it's really, really good. And it ended up being like number 23 on my most listened to songs for 2025. I love David Bowie. Like, if you remember my Battle Vest Showcase video, you'll know that I have a David Bowie patch on there, which I'm really, really proud about. I mean, what can you really say? He's one of the most legendary people put to music. You know, he's a hero, he's a legend, and it's really unfortunate how he passed away. Of course, he's been around since the 40s, but what can you really say? And also something I discovered, like maybe around the same time I got this album, which was last year. There's a picture of him and Lemmy hanging out, which I was like, dude, that's really freaking cool. David Bowie, Let's Dance. If you're looking to, if you're just wanting to dance, if you're just wanting like some dancey, poppy, 80 good pop, like 80s stuff, you gotta check out David Bowie. Rest in peace to Mr. Bowie. Oh, we got a little bit more David Bowie with my favorite David Bowie album, believe it or not, and I do consider this a David Bowie album because he pretty much sung everything on it, and that is the Labyrinth from the soundtrack. The soundtrack from the Labyrinth. I mean, Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies, and probably amplified my love of. Really did amplify my love of fantasy, whether that be 80s fantasy or dark fantasy. I mean, you really got to thank this for it. Favorite song of this album and from the movie as the world falls down. It's kind of a tearjerker nowadays if you know the history. But it's perfect for the movie. Like the movie is if you've never seen The Labyrinth, it's a really weird movie. Like you might need to take like multiple watches for to like understand it. I mean, I wouldn't say that like it's a Rocky Horror type of situation. However, like it's fantasy, but don't think of like Lord of the Rings fantasy. I mean, it's a Jim Henson movie, so kind of like put the two together. And it works. It's like a fantasy style new wave, which is really, really sick. Um, you got classic songs like Magic Dance or Chili Down. But the instrumentals are really, really good too, like what Into the Labyrinth or Home at Last. These are really it's overall just a beautiful record. It's a great soundtrack. I really do like soundtrack, and this is definitely up there. Not saying that because it's one of my favorite movies, but kind of the same time as well. So listen to the soundtrack, and if you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie. Like pause this movie or pause this video, go watch the movie, and come right back. Labyrinth. Oh, let's see what's next. Oh, here we go. So I don't know. See, I really don't know how to describe it with me. It's like I don't know if I'm. So I would kind of call myself a pseudo gothic type of guy. Because I don't know if it's right for me just to outright say that I'm just goth, Because the whole thing is like metalheads aren't goths, but goths can be metalheads. It's like, I mean, I guess you could say I'm both because I mean, I'm not new to the gothic subculture. I'm just now learning how to embrace it. You got to thank the Cradle of Filth concert for that. But I really do like gothic music, and this comes from my favorite goth band of all time, the Sisters of Mercy, Floodlands. Oh, what can you really say about this? You got classics like what Lucretia, My Reflection, obviously, then Dominion, Mother Russia. But besides from those songs, I think my favorite song off of this record is 1959, which I know is when Andrew Eldritch was born, and it's a really sad song, but it's also a really sweet song at the same time. A complete staple point when it comes to gothic music. I know this can be considered goth rock and like I guess you could say cold wave, but I don't really understand what's wavy about it because you hear guitars, bass, and that's what really drives it. You want to know a little bit something funny? So I know how to play Lucretia, My Reflection. Like it's really not that hard of a song to play because it's the same riff over and over and over again, but it's good. Uh, but I was jamming to the track one night on my guitar, and I actually snapped one of the strings, and I was like, "Fuck!" And it was a crucial string for the song. It was the A string. But yeah, if you are wanting to like get into gothic music, I say this is a brilliant start. It's it's a beautiful record. Sisters of Mercy, go check them out. I like playing with my little lip ring. Oh, here's the one. See, this is one another genre that I really like. I actually really like psychedelic rock, but especially psychedelic rock which comes from the 60s, and this is Iron Butterfly in Legata da Vida. Like seriously, the entire B side of this record is a 17-minute track, and it's awesome. It feels like a seriously like a trip. If you want to know what 60s psychedelic sounds like, just look no further than this. And I do believe that this is an original pressing from the 60s. Yeah, literally says 1968, so this is an original. I found it at the same record store as well a lot of my records. This is $10, so I say it was a worthy and a fine purchase. It's chill. It's just mellow. It's calming. It's relaxing. It's perfect. I really do like 60s psychedelic rock, and this is probably my favorite album from the 60s. It's either definitely this or Witchcraft Destroys Minds and Reaps Holes, or I didn't say that right, but the Coven album. Yeah, Iron Butterfly. Oh yeah, Slayer covered this song. I do believe I read that somewhere. It's probably one of their compilation albums. Now this is where a lot of people are going to unsubscribe for me, but what can I really say? This is a Ghost Prequel. See, here's the thing. Like I know that there is a debate with metalheads and Ghost fans saying is Ghost a metal band? Personally, the only like real metal material that they put out was their first album, which is very doom metal esque. But even it's like I would classify it in the same light as Pentagram, heavy hard rock. So I think their most metal adjacent has to be their debut, which is sitting in my collection as well. But definitely after their third album, Meliora, they definitely went to a more hard rock just type of style. So I've always considered Ghost a hard rock band. And Ghosts are actually one of the first bands that I fell in love with. And this so happens to be the album that means the most to me, mainly because I remember the freaking excitement that was surrounding the release of this album around that time. Because this era is when they like started doing like the web series, and like I know there all types of hype for the Cardinal. I remember I was in sixth grade when this no, I was in the summer between sixth and the grade after sixth grade. It's releasing on June 1st. So it's been like what? It's 2020. It's been a long time. Like 8 years? Yeah, it's been 8 years since this album. Man, that's kind of crazy to think about how I kind of grew up with this album. I was 12 when this album came out, dude. And I was still in sixth grade when the two singles, Dance Macabre and Rats, were released. So it's just, I do definitely believe that this is better than their most recent albums. Because I know a lot of people say like, "Oh, Ghost released this and they went downhill," which I won't really talk about that in this video because I just wanted to talk about the records. See, I had one of these records when like as soon as it released, but I did give it to a friend, one of my greatest friends. I gave it to her when we were in high school, and I didn't really listen to the record as much, so I just gave it to her. And we really bonded over Ghost, so that was really cool. I've seen Ghost twice. It was like the Skeletor 2025 and 2026, so it was a really cool show. Um, my favorite song off of this, probably like one of my favorite Ghost songs of all time, Faith. So yeah, if you're just looking for some, hard rock, I mean, like This is probably one of the greatest hard rock bands of the 2010s, or albums of the 2010s. It's a classic. It's my favorite, and I'm not ashamed to admit it anymore. I mean, because I know in my heart I'm not one of those TikTok Marijuana Cross fans, because that's what's really. See, like, here's another thing. I'm gonna go on a side tangent. Just because TikTok ruins one of your favorite bands, you shouldn't let that get to you. You know, because I know Mortician was kind of spreading on TikTok, like at least one of their songs, and that really turned a lot of people off from Mortician. But it's not Mortician's fault, you know. And you shouldn't let you shouldn't let people ruin your favorite bands or favorite songs for you. You know, music's a lot deeper than that. But moving on, we are going into one of my mother's records, which is the soundtrack from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I don't really know what to say about this because it is, I mean, it's a pretty old, it comes from my mother's collection. My mom pretty much kickstarted my love of records and record collecting. We had a lot growing up. And this just comes from her collection. Haven't listened to it yet. I guess it belonged to a guy named Doyle, maybe von Frankenstein. Highly doubt it. But like, what can I say about the soundtrack? It's good. It's classic. We all know like the main theme to it, even if you've never seen the movie, which it's a really good movie. So go ahead, check it out. Yeah, enough said. Man, I'm just flying through this video. 16-minute mark. I wouldn't have been done. I would have just been still talking about like the two CDs for the Thrash one in it. Now here's a soundtrack that I really, really enjoy because it's my favorite movie of all time, and that is the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack by beautifully composed by Mr. Danny Elfman, which he's composed a lot. But what can you really be said about this one? It's perfect. It is what October sounds like, or it should sound like. It's the sound of Halloween, and yes, I am a firm believer that that the Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie. Not just because Tim Burton said it, but when you listen to the music, like remember Halloween when you were like a little kid? Boom, this is what it sounded like. If you weren't watching this on Halloween, I just don't know what to say. It's not too late, but yeah. See, I know Walmart was releasing like soundtracks release, but it wasn't the full soundtrack. I like things in its entirety. It's perfect. It I don't really know what to say other than it's my favorite and I love it because as can you tell by my two tattoos depicting the Nightmare Before Christmas, there's my mural, I guess you could say, to Jack's Karaoke Boogie as a Spiral Hill. And there's my little tribute to the Pumpkin King himself. I would listen to this album over and over and over and over and over again during like last October and all the Octobers. What can you really say? I was building the Lego Halloween Town, yeah, and I had a Jack and Sally's montage on a lot. Which if we're talking like song, my favorite song off of this is Jack Cement, obviously. But if we're talking about instrumental, obviously it has to be Jack and Sally's montage. Beautiful movie, beautiful soundtrack. It's timeless. Go listen to it. Go listen to it right freaking now. Oh, this one also comes from my mom. And this is Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, because obviously one of the most recognizable album covers in the history, not just rock, but in the history of music. I apologize. See, I used to dog on Pink Floyd a whole lot because I always see them as soft rock, and I've always like I think that there's no such thing as soft rock. I think there's rock and there's pop played with guitars, but I would not say that this is pop at all. I really listen to this for just the chill. It's just a really mellow, chill album, and I guess I'm not too much of a prog snob to like be like, actually. It's I mean it's a classic album, but I really think a lot of people do listen to this just because it's a classic, and they only really listen to like what money, which I think albums are best when you take it all at once. I mean, it is definitely a classic, but listen to it into its entirety. Everything's like it's clogging like back here. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Go listen to it. Now let's see, what's this one? Oh yes, this is actually the record that I bought most recently, and that's Christian Death, Only Theater of Pain. So this is a genre of goth called death rock, and what and some of and for those of you who are wondering, like, oh, what is death rock? I guess the best way to describe it is like it's punk goth, goth punk, I guess you can say. And like I know, like I said earlier, I'm completely new to the goth subculture and like all the other subgenres that fall within the goth uh umbrella. But the best way I've heard it describe it to be, the best way I've heard it to be described was it's too punk to be goth, but it's too goth to be punk. And that's perfect. When I saw Pentagram in April, guitarist was wearing this exact shirt, by the way, and it was really sick. So it was cool. And actually, Christian Death are playing in that same venue tomorrow. Today is Sunday as of recording this, so Monday they're playing. They're playing, but I don't think I'd be able to go because I don't think I'd be able to go because I got class, and it's also just like a $30 ticket. Now I'm trying to save up, surprisingly. But what can I say about this album? It is really, really sick. I definitely say like if someone is wanting to get into the goth subculture, they should definitely check this album out. It's classic, they're unsung legends, and they're kind of infamous for one certain song on this, but I don't want to talk about it. Christian Death. If you're looking for if you're just looking for anything to listen to, Christian Death is for you. It's a little bit weird, but it's goth. So what can you really say? We're dwindling down now. And this is Blue Oyster Cult, Spectres. So, occult rock. And here's the thing I wanted to talk about in my other video. So, what is occult rock? So, occult rock is just an umbrella term for 70s band, for like any bands that have like occultic themes. So, these are bands like Blue Oyster Cult, Coven. It's not a genre, it's only based on lyrical content. Because how can you make something sound occultic? I mean, it was pretty much kickstarted by Blue Oyster Cult, but also you had, Coven, and also some of the earliest metal bands like Black Sabbath can also fit into here. And a lot of the doom metal bands, like what? Witchfinder General, Pentagram, Witchfind also fit into here. Even Ghost fit into the occult rock category, which makes sense. But I really cannot say anything off of this record because I do believe that this record is broken, so I have not listened to this. But I do like Blue Oyster Cult. They're amazing. And they actually played in Alaska a few years back, but I couldn't go to the show. Blue Oyster Cult. They're cool. Now, here's one. This is definitely another one of my favorites when it comes to non-metal, but probably my favorite when it comes to new wave, and that is Blondie Auto American. It is. What can you really say about it? It's pretty nice. It's groovy. It's nice. It's dancey. It has everything. It really it's just everything mixed into one. Favorite song off of this has to be Here's Looking at You. I really like that song. I think it's a cute song. What can you really say? Obviously Rapture's really, really sick. Hearing Rapture from this album was my first introduction into Blondie. I mean, of course, we've all heard like what was that song? I'm not gonna sing it for you, but you know what song I'm talking about. One Way or Another? I don't know the title, but I do like Blondie. Especially, I think this is my favorite Blondie record. They're just a cool band. What can you really say? Blondie, Auto American. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the last record of the evening, and that is Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. See, Alice Cooper. He's a legend. He's been around for a long, long time. He's inspired countless metal musicians, i.e., King Diamond. And what am I gonna say? I love this record. I know a lot of people consider this to be like 70s metal, but I really just can't see it. It's just really not heavy enough. Just because you have a top single in the 70s and you're a rock band doesn't automatically make you a metal band. But does Alice Cooper have the ability to be metal? Absolutely. He just did a tour with Judas Priest, which I'm so sad I wasn't able to see, but it seemed really cool. I need to spin this again. It's been a second. Legendary Alice Cooper. Oh yeah. So the single "Welcome to My Nightmare." To be honest, I have a little bit of a hot take. I do really like the song as it is. However, I think the best version of the song was from the Muppet Show when he was on there, because you know how they used to do like segments with the celebrities. He played freaking "Welcome to My Nightmare" on the Muppet Show, and I think that's the best version of it. Yeah. So, ladies and jellyfish, that is all of my non-metal records of my collection. Now tell me, what are some of your favorite non-metal records? I would like to know. Well, that was a nice quick little video. You know, it's not too entirely long, but I guess good enough to prove a point. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully we'll keep this rock going, this snowball effect. Cool. All right. Hey, I've been Vitus Bathory. You've been awesome. But always remember, stay metal.